Hello and welcome to our show, Tuning Into Your Angels. My name is Thomas. I'm the host of the show, and to my left is...
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm a co-host. And to the right...
Hi, I'm Claudia, and today we're going to be talking about the power of prayer.
And the healings of St. Raphael.
During our last show, we ended off with a lady named Solange Caron from Montreal, and today we're going to start with her story. It's a story about courage and battling illness, hope, motivation, and praying to God. It is a very inspirational story, and even though it is in French, you can sense the strong emotions that come up when she tells us her story.
I think we'd like to first welcome our guests.
Oh, yes.
Rita Gigante.
Oh, my God.
And Adolphina Shephard and Christine Schiavone.
Welcome to our show. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Welcome, studio audience.
Yes.
And for those of you at home watching, thank you for watching. So now we can proceed. Claudia, you were saying?
Yes, we're going to start with the first video, the first testimonial, Solange Caron.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Solange de Montréal. Moi, aujourd'hui, je veux faire un témoignage sur qu'est-ce qui m'est arrivé. Et pour Claudia, c'est une dame que je connais qui travaille à la Banque nationale et moi, je fais partie faut que j'aille de temps en temps à la banque, comme tout le monde. Et je l'ai rencontrée là, elle connaît toute mon histoire. Et c'est pour vous dire qu'il faut toujours garder espoir. Moi, en 2004, j'ai été diagnostiquée avec un cancer. Et je vous assure que ça... Vous voyez, ça vient me chercher encore. Et j'ai dû avoir 2 opérations. J'ai eu une première opération, qu'on pensait que tout allait très bien, que bon... Et j'ai dû en subir un autre, puis que là, on m'a dit que c'était pas mal... il n'y avait pas grand-chose à faire. C'était très, 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 très agressif. Et moi, c'est l'endomètre agressif, niveau 4. Et moi, j'ai décidé que je voulais pas mourir. Parce que j'ai un enfant, j'ai encore une fille qui demeure avec moi, qui a 35 ans maintenant. Elle vient d'avoir 35 ans avec un handicap intellectuel. Et je voulais pas la laisser. Fait que j'ai dit, c'est pas un médecin qui va me dire que je vais mourir. Alors, j'ai décidé de me battre, et de prier, et de croire. Et je vous assure que croire, ça fait la différence. Vous devez croire en Dieu. Parce que c'est un grand miracle. Vous voyez, depuis 2004, on est en 2012 et je suis très bien. Ils m'ont dit l'année passée, parce que j'ai continué de suivre il fallait que j'aille à l'hôpital. J'étais même en soins palliatifs. Il fallait que j'aille à l'hôpital régulièrement. Et je passais à des PET scans, des scans, toutes sortes de tout ce qui vient avec le cancer. Et en 2011, on m'a dit que c'était guéri. Fait que je vous assure que vous devez croire en Dieu, vous devez croire, vous devez accrochez-vous. Il y a toujours espoir. Il ne faut jamais baisser les bras. Il ne faut jamais dire qu'on va mourir si on nous dit qu'on va mourir. Ça ne veut rien dire. Continuez de vous battre et vous allez réussir. Merci.
Solange's message is one where you must always have hope and never give up. The translation to this video is that her story started in 2004 when she was diagnosed with cancer. She had one surgery that went really well. The second surgery, after that surgery, they told her there was nothing that they can do. She ended up having 1 month to live, and she was in palliative care. At that point, they told her it was a very aggressive cancer. It was in stage 4, and that was it. She was going to die. So she decided at that point that she was not going to die, that she couldn't die because she had a handicapped child who presently now is 35 years old, and that she cannot leave this child because this child is still under her care even though she's 35. In her video, she says, there is no doctor that will tell me that I will die, and that you should never accept, even though they give you this diagnosis, that you should decide to fight, that you should pray, and that you have to believe. Since then, she's undergone many visits to the hospital. checkups. Her cancer was still there, but it was not moving. It just hadn't spread. In 2011, she was actually declared cancer-free, and the cancer's gone and it's healed. And in the video, she also mentions that it's a big miracle that she has been fine all these years, and that it does make a difference to believe, and that you should believe in God, and that you should continue praying, and that there's always hope. She says never to let go, to continue to fight, and you will succeed. And she is a living proof of miracles, that miracles do happen even when the doctors say that you can't, that you have no more life. Her message is that you should never give up hope, and this is very inspirational to all of us, and it is the reason that I decided to include it in today's show. So I hope that her message has inspired all of you in the audience and everyone at home never to give up, no matter how bleak things seem.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Okay. I'd like to introduce our first guest, Rita Gigante. Rita, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you come to connect with your angels?
Yes, I'm a healer, born a healer. I developed my skills over many years of having to clean out very old familial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I cleaned out, the more I was able to pull in the energies from spirit and connect to the angels. My first experience with it was I was by my mom's swimming pool, and I was walking from the house to the pool, and 4 massive angels about 15 feet in height, 2 on one side, 2 on the other. They were following me to the pool. Now, I could feel the energy of them, but I couldn't see them at the time. And I had a friend that could see them. And, she looked at me like with her mouth open, and I just said, "What is it?" Like I thought something was ready to attack. And she said, "You have 4 massive angels surrounding you." Now, what I could feel was their energy, but I could feel the energy all the way back as if there were like a legion of angels following me. And it was interesting because I went swimming that day. That night, in the middle of the night, I was woken up and I was sweating profusely. And I could feel my guides, I could feel the angels. And I knew I was going into some kind of shift in my body. And it took about 2 months for me to get through that. But it was almost like they came and said, "Okay, this is what's going to happen. We're going to be here to hold you up." And it was, and that's how I was introduced, basically. And
Did you
that was
physically see them?
Silhouettes, I see.
Okay.
Silhouettes. I feel them mostly,
Mhm.
and I can hear them when I'm working on somebody.
Right.
Mostly,
This
go
is
ahead.
from when you were a child.
Yes,
Very interesting. Very interesting. So that was your first interaction with them?
that was my first interaction.
I see.
Yeah, I knew I had very sensitive energy, but I didn't realize that I could.
You didn't know what you could do.
I had no idea.
So when you say you were like clearing out buildings, houses, and things like that of negative influences, or?
I was clearing out old stuff of mine that was brought in with family,
Okay.
and
Past life stuff?
past life stuff, stuff in this lifetime
Mm-hmm.
with my family. And once I was able to do that, it was so much easier for me to connect to the higher realms.
And in today, what are you doing, like, as far as with healings and stuff today? When people contact you and you go in to see their various problems, stuff like that, and
Yeah, I'm able to see blockages in people's bodies, and so they usually come to me, and normally they're coming to pretty much get on their path. It's like, help me to shift my energy so I can move again, get on my path, because they feel very stuck.
right.
And so I see the blockages in their energy, and I'm able to help them release them,
So you're clearing them.
clearing them out, right? With the help of the angels
Mhm.
and the
Any
assistance.
particular ones that you like?
Mostly Michael
Michael, yeah.
and Raphael.
And Raphael.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every so often, though, Gabriel will come and he'll give me a message that they need to hear.
Well, he's the messenger of God,
Right. And twice I've experienced Uriel.
Uriel.
But mostly Michael and Raphael. Because I do the healing work, Raphael is very close in connection to the healing work.
connection
So, and he comes in as this beautiful green light, and his energy is
You ever notice the signs?
expansive.
You ever notice the signs that they leave?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time he hits a dealing with me, somebody will walk in front of me in the street, and his name is Raphael.
Right.
Or
it's
there's
not
a
just
license
these
plate,
big, beautiful-
Raphael.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The same thing with Michael, too. He does things like that. So, other than that, like a person wanted to contact you to have a healing done, say they had a catastrophic illness.
I've dealt with many people with MS and cancer. It's also up to the individual if they want to heal. So you can offer the assistance, which is, we're basically catalysts to help bring that healing in. But the people have to want to heal as well. And if that connection is supposed to,
Yes.
be with spirit, then it comes through and healing is
whatever-
done on one level or another. It doesn't always mean it's physical,
Right.
but they get the healing they're supposed to get.
See, I used to get a lot of people, and now I'm getting people calling me for their animals.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, Adolphina knows that, I'm getting people calling me their dog or their cat or somebody
Yes.
is, deathly ill and may not live and stuff like that, and they ask me to pray for them and to heal them, and they are getting better, which, and I also have my prayer warrior team here that help out too to inspire the healing. Do you do that? Do you work with other people who
We have
do
a team
healing?
of 12 healers that we work with, and every so often we do a healing space where we get at least 60 people to come in, and we're all praying, at the same time praying for each other. It's kind of like the laying on of the hands. We call in the angels, we call in all those from the light who
Do you
want to
do
come
any
in.
laying of hands?
Yes,
Yeah, I do that myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very connected to that. When I had it done on me, I was amazed.
You can't believe the
Amazed.
warmth.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
warmth. I didn't want to get up. Once I went down, I didn't want to get up. It was so peaceful. I just lay here for an hour,
Is that the same thing that they do at churches sometimes, like
Yes.
healing masses and?
Yes.
Wow.
It doesn't always have to be done at a church, but yeah, that's
Okay.
part of it.
Well, the heal, obviously, you're probably raised Catholic, right?
Right.
All right, so, but are you still a practicing Catholic, or?
No, I'm
You've
not
become
really
more
a practice.
spiritual
I'm
like I
very,
did.
yeah, I took the spiritual route. I took the simplicity. I just made it simple. I believe in God. I'm connected to the Blessed Mother and Jesus and the energy of the angels, and the rest of that stuff I kind of left behind me and took the spiritual path.
You have a question, Flo?
Do you always do healings in groups, or do you
No.
actually receive people at your home or so?
Yes, I receive people at my home,
Okay.
do one-on-one healings, and the group is probably about 4 times a year.
Okay.
So, but it's wonderful because we've had experiences where we've done the healings even for people who aren't there because we set intentions for others, and we hear of healings of those people that weren't even there that day. So you can see the power of prayer and how getting
Directed prayer.
getting a group of people together can expand that energy and how strong it is.
My question, I'm always curious when children have experiences like that. You said you were a child when this happened, when it started?
When it started, yeah. I can feel things as a child, but I couldn't place what it was.
And how did you handle that? Were you freaked out?
I handled it with a lot of anxiety
Okay.
and depression and
'Cause
panic attacks.
A lot of children
To be
will,
honest.
will give up the gift. They don't even know they have the gift because
Yeah.
they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, I didn't know I had it. All I know is I would feel stuff, and it would scare me
Well, that
because
Okay.
nobody was there to be able to explain what that was
Okay.
in 1977.
Did you speak to someone about it?
Not till I got into my mid-20s.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
Was
was.
this a handed down trait from maybe grandma?
Grandma was able to see apparitions. My grandmother from my
Okay.
father's
So
side.
there's a connection.
She saw an apparition of the Blessed Mother.
Oh, nice.
My mother, who surprises me over and over, she gets these psychic things that come through for her. So she definitely has some gifts, and just to be connected with that in the lineage is a nice thing. Although no one really took it to the level I took it to, but that's okay.
Okay.
Everybody
There's
follows
always a
their own
first.
path, but the path you followed is spiritual, and it's a good path. I happen to love it. I wish I could do this all the time.
Yeah.
And now, if somebody were to want to meet with you for healing, do you have a website or?
I do have a website. It's under construction, so the best way they could reach me is Facebook.
Okay.
They just Google the name in there, and
Your personal name? Or,
Yes.
Okay.
And is it true you have a book?
I do. I have a book out. It's called The Godfather's Daughter, An Unlikely Story of Love, Healing, and Redemption. It's a healing journey story of a father and a daughter, and hopefully you read it. It's
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
the promo on YouTube.
Did it just come out?
Came out in September.
Okay.
September.
So how is
You get it
that
on
going?
Amazon, right?
You can get it on Amazon. Absolutely. It's doing wonderful. I've gotten
Okay.
so many fabulous feedback from it. Just
Okay.
incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, are you attributing some of the healing from the book, from your experiences with your dad, to your future of healing others?
Yeah, it was definitely the catalyst, let's put it that way. My dad became the catalyst for me to heal myself, want to heal, and move forward so that I could help others. And the book shows that.
Yeah.
You know, when you read the story, you see the journey, you'll understand how that happens.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And when you say healing, I mean, it doesn't just have to be a physical.
And it's funny because I try to say to Spirit, okay, why don't we do it this way? And they just look, I just heard them say, oh no, this is not about you. This is about the person on your, table. So it's whatever they need that day, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, that's what they get.
So if somebody just comes to you and says, I'm having a hard time getting over the loss of a breakup, or somebody, you can't choose to heal them in that way. If the Spirit says to you, she needs more help with her health right now.
It'll be between really Spirit and that person, and
Okay.
then I'll get direction on what to do at that moment.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to reading your book.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you for having
definitely,
me.
definitely.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Our next testimonial will be a friend of mine, Michael Bath from Australia. I've known him for about 30 years, and he has a little story to tell us as well. July 24th, 2012, in his backyard.
Hi, I'm Michael Bath. I live in Australia, and I've known Claudia since 1981 or 1982 when we were pen pal friends way back then. We've kept in touch ever since. The reason I'm speaking to you today is when I was 35, I was diagnosed with cancer, and when I found out, it was actually in my bowel, my liver and my lungs, so it was a pretty a devastating time. I had an operation for the bowel cancer in November 2003, the liver in February 2004, and then a lung operation in I think it was August 2006. I also had some chemotherapy between May and September 2004. During that time, without the support of Claudia and her prayers, and of course my other friends and family, I don't think I would be here today. So I just really like to thank Claudia for all her support over the years and her friendship and love. And again, without her prayers and support, I don't think I'd be here today. So enjoying this lovely scene that I live here in northern New South Wales at the moment. Thank you.
As you can see, Michael is doing great. His story is definitely an example of the power of prayer. I've done quite a few prayers for him over the years. Anytime he told me he was the cancer was back in some other part of his body, I would pray for that to be healed, and he got his miracles. The power of prayer extends to all corners of the world and to absolutely all races. It has nothing, there is no limits to it, and definitely the power of prayers would help Michael, because to battle cancer in the liver and both livers and the lung, and to still be sitting there doing his work and being with his family and his children and his wife is just an amazing. It's just an amazing thing.
He's quite healthy, too.
Yes, and he's in good shape. And again, the prayers, I invoked Saint Raphael to heal him, like I do to other people that ask for healing. And I'm just very glad to say that even the power of healing does extend to Australia.
Our next guest is Adolphina Shephard. Adolphina has been on our show a few times, and always a wonderful guest and wonderful stories. Adolphina?
Thank you for having me on again. You know, we always have such fun with this. And I'm not sure what you wanted to talk about. You mentioned you wanted to talk about the energies incoming this time
Incoming, basically, you know,
and how it's affecting people and so forth.
and the influences of our, you know, our angels and
Let's see, where shall I start? Well, let's go with the same format that we did here. My first experience with anything paranormal, I don't think we've ever spoken about this, was when I was only 18 months old and I had a thing get in my eye, a piece of metal. And they rushed me to the hospital and I had an out-of-body experience, 18 months old. And the only reason you remember something like that is because you become an adult's consciousness, even though you're 18 months old. So I remember it like it was yesterday. And then my next experience was I was about 13 and a friend of mine and I were outside just enjoying a summer night and I saw Jesus, only he was this big. And the only thing I can explain it, the best way to explain it would be if you saw that movie Star Wars with the little holograph where you saw Princess Leia, and that's how I saw Jesus the first time.
Wow.
So, and as you know, I work primarily with the Trinity, and I did get a message on the way here, by the way, for everybody, so can I share that
Sure.
before I forget?
Please do,
Yeah, I wrote it down the minute I got here. So this message is from Father God. I love all of you, my children. I bless all of you, my children. Go forward in peace, as there is no going backwards now. And I was supposed to do this, but I couldn't hold it, so I bless you, my children. And there we have it. So now you wanted to talk about how the energies are affecting people and so forth. Well, I'll give you a broad overview. Basically what's happening is God is sending in energies through the sun. And that basically is to evolve us as a race into higher from where we are. And the gateway opened on December 21st and it never shut. And they've been escalating. And so I've been getting more information, and we had something wonderful happen this past week. I'll have to give you a little backstory for you to understand what actually happened. And I was telling the fellas earlier, but here I am in bed one night, and I hear one of my cats. So I lock them outside at night because they'll keep me awake all night. And he's going meow, meow, and I'm like saying, my cats don't do that. So I open the door. And there's a couple big piles of throw up there. So I'm thinking, okay, something's wrong. Let me tune in to my cat. So I tuned in and I could feel a real strong beat, very painful right here. So he was scared to death, the poor little thing. So now, you know, I have other cats. So I checked them all. They all have beats going on.
Wow.
Yeah, so I asked God, please turn it down. That hurts. No wonder he's sick, throwing up, and it's painful. So I realized that each cat had a boom, 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 boom. And I watched this progression for a few days, and it's moving higher, 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 higher. And I realized, oh my God, you know what's happening? The Kundalini is rising, which is opening up the crown chakra. So now everybody's going to be awakened. So I checked from the animals. I start checking my friends and my family and my loved one. And everybody's crown chakra was wide open. Wow, this is fantastic news, because what happens when you become awakened? You look back and you say, gee, you know, we can't continue to have these wars, you know, and everyone starts to become enlightened and say, okay, we got to help the people who don't have any food. We got to help the people who, you know, don't have a place to live. You see what I mean? So this was wonderful news. And to follow on after that, did you feel anything yesterday, anybody? There was an asteroid that went through the magnetosphere, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I was getting such a migraine yesterday. I had to take aspirins. Did anybody have a migraine?
No.
No? Nobody felt that?
Yes.
Did you have a migraine too? Okay, and also 2 other people I spoke to. Now, as I looked, and I'm kind of seeing, what the heck's going on? Well, just if you throw a pebble in a lake, right?
It ripples.
And it ripples out with the water. Well, now when that asteroid went through, what it does is it was pushing energy. pushing the energy. So I was actually kind of feeling like I was doing this, you know, every so often, boing. You know, I could just feel myself moving with this energy, and then the headache came on. So again, you know, we're having these disruptions to the field, but it's all being handled by God. He is doing that. And so pretty soon, I expect things are going to really turn around for us. And as far as my work, I find that it's gone from a one-on-one type thing to more of a broad-based. For instance, we do planetary service now, and that's global. That's for the world. So instead of, in other words, using this healing with the angels to heal one person, it's a global thing. You know, so my team gets together and we do that for the entire world, mankind, and the earth, and so forth. So it's a healing of Mother Earth as well as mankind.
Okay.
Yeah, and also more broad-based, more going from writing even books, although I do have this one, which I'll share, Yahweh the Manual. And that is how to perform miraculous healings through energy medicine. And, but I find that it's going more broad-based, like radio and television and things like that. Just the way the energy has gone from a one-on-one thing to a global type thing. And so that's what I've been doing
when you look at people like who come to you for, I say, energy healing, something, it's similar to what Rita said. Rita did say that, you know, I looked at them and I could see blockages. All right, that's the energy of our body, our auric fields and everything else like that, and you can read them. Okay?
Yes.
And basically your methods are similar because you do get that flowing.
Yes.
You know, if the energy doesn't flow, the body stagnates, and like anything that stagnates, it dies.
Well, you know, I described that in the book there. I call it holographic scanning, because even if you don't, I mean, I can tune in and see blockages, but for me, it's just as easy to scan. You know, I teach a 3-step thing where it's on the outside of the aura, left, right, and front and back. And you can, sure enough, find where those blockages are, because not everybody has vision. So when I teach these classes, everybody can feel and sense that way. Yeah, and so it is similar.
Yeah, I was reading that in that book.
Yeah, and but then as you go along, the more you progress, I have found that almost everyone develops clairvoyancy, which is a gift of the spirit, after they're cleared out, right? So it's a matter, too, of fixing your psychic body.
With our crown chakra is open and drawing in all this extra energy, that really makes, the veil is going to be like paper thin.
Oh, God,
between
yeah.
here and the, you know, the angelic world. So our angels are definitely going to interact with us a lot more, and there's millions of them, guardian angels, you know, to help. What we need to do is call upon them and release the energy.
Absolutely, you know, and the veil was very thin this week. Now, the Kundalini can't stay up all the time because it would burn your body out. And by the way, a tip for the audience and everybody, if you smell something burning, it's probably you, you know, because don't forget we're carbon-based. And so, I mean, this happened to me when my Kundalini first started rising. I was running around thinking there was a fire and trying to find the fire, and it was me. And I learned this through
I thought
experience.
I was having a stroke one time.
No.
When I got home last night, when I got home last
Not yet.
night, it smelled like something was burning out near my house.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, gee, I wonder what was going on here, but
It was
I guess that
probably
was
you.
it.
Here I was in CVS a week or two ago, and the guy's going, something's burning. Something's burning. Anybody smell that? And I didn't want to say, oh, well, it's me. You know, so.
That would have went over well.
She was grabbing the visit. She was spraying the area.
Yeah, you know, so anyway, you know, that's the latest. So it will go up and down. So when you feel real hot, this is what's happening, okay?